All right, guys, welcome back to Vanguard. Behind me, we have one of the most iconic antique automobiles that there is. You've got, of course, the Tri-5 Chevy with the two-tone paint. And if you watch our videos, you know the deal. We're going to go ahead and throw this thing up on the hoist, show you engine, transmission, undercarriage. We're going to go give you a walk around of the exterior. We're going to show you the interior. We're even going to take you for a drive in the thing. So that being said, let's listen to the engine run. Okay guys, like I said, 56 Chevy, Tri-5 Chevys, they're iconic for their look. I mean, people want them just like crazy, and there's a reason. And especially this one has the two-tone paint job that's got the trim that just makes the two-tone paint jobs just perfect with these things. They, in my opinion, they don't look quite right in one color. And of course, they've done this one right, and with the red and the white, it looks very, very good. You can see we do have a set of custom wheels on the thing, obviously with a set of low-profile tires, makes it a little more of a hot rod type cruiser. And you see the motor under the hood here in just a second. You'll see that it does have an engine to match. Interior on the thing, of course, we'll get to it, more in detail in a second, but obviously custom along with the rest of the car. I mean, of course, all the trim is there. You can see the paint's in beautiful shape, of course. We got our lighting in here that kind of lets you really get a good look across it. And you can see every detail on the wall on the paint on this thing. You got a big Hankin exhaust sticking out from underneath there, which kind of gives you, it's your only little clue about really what's underneath the hood. That, and I guess the disc brakes and the wheels, I suppose. As you can see, the back of it, it's still got most of its trim. They didn't strip any of that stuff, and to me, that's a good thing. That's, to me, what makes an antique car or a classic car is trim. That's what really, chrome and trim is what really made these things back in the day. You can see on this side, all the badging is still there as well. I mean, beautiful paint over here as well, little hot rod mirrors on it. Interior on this side here, all the doors open and close real nice on this. I mean, outside of that, there's not too much more you need to know about it other than we're about ready to move to interior. Okay guys, the interior on this thing, I mean, it's obviously highly modified. They did not come from GM like this. You can see, of course, we've got nice door panels on the thing, beautiful seats in it. Carpet on this, it looks like it's the original style of carpet. However, it looks like it's been replaced. There's not a chance that this is the original carpet, that it survived to be in this good a shape. We got custom pedals down there. Functional horn. We got, of course, it's got a aftermarket set of gauges in the thing. GPS speedometer up there on the dash. If you look, that is the antenna for the GPS speedo, so you know you got your accuracy there. Custom steering wheel. It does have a tilt column in the thing. Not really in the position to make it work properly, but you get the gist of it. Of course, it's got the console in it. You have a tachometer hidden down there, almost kind of like in the knee knocker position where it would be like on the Chevelles. Very cool. It's even got a cup holder that someone's has actually Frenched into the console there. Pretty neat. You got your parking brake here. Outside of that, I guess the headliner's in really nice shape on this. Obviously custom to match the rest of the interior. They pretty much did it all in one big foul sweep here, and they did the entire thing in the same motif. Rear seat, of course, matches the front seats. Outside of that, let's go check out the passenger side. Okay guys, on this side, it's very similar to what's on the driver's side, obviously. You got a beautiful seat over here as well, of course. No rips in the upholstery, but that's no big surprise, of course, because it was done just recently. Beautiful back seat, as you can see from this side as well. Interior there, you get another good look at the dashboard. And once again, they did not skimp on the chrome with this thing. This thing is very, very dressed up, very, very show ready. So, and of course, you got to like the shifter handle too. That's pretty neat too. So I guess outside of that, we're going to show you the trunk, which is in really nice shape, battery mounted or trunk mounted battery, I should say. And we'll get it outside. We'll take it for a cruise. All right, one thing before I do open the trunk, I do want to just point out, it doesn't get much cooler than that. I really do love the fact that GM did that back in the day. And I actually, when I first started here and I didn't know a whole lot about these, the guys actually made fun of me as I sat there struggling for 15, 20 minutes trying to find a spot to put gas in one of these things. But outside of that, I digress. Inside the trunk, of course, is in really beautiful shape. You can see here it does have the trunk mat. Underneath the trunk mat, I mean, we don't have any rot or anything like that going on under there. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I don't want to rip it completely up here and then have to bed it back down, but you can see, and right here is a very popular spot for the rust to start, is down there in the tire well, and of course it's clean. You don't have a spare tire there, but you can see that the sheet metal is actually in really good shape. Like I said, you got a trunk-mounted battery with a nice billet battery hold-down. Optima batteries is one of the best you can buy. Underside of the trunk looks like it's in good shape. Does have sound deadener actually there. Looks like the weather stripping was replaced at 1.2. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Outside of that, you can see that, I mean, it's a pretty good, honest old car. Not much really to talk about back here. It's a trunk. You can put things back here. Trunk shuts pretty well. Just like that. A lot of the time, these things, you got to give them the push to get them to close down. This one, not so much. It actually is, it closes very, very well. So that being said, let's get it outside and we'll take it for a cruise. All right, guys, 56 Chevy. We're going to take it for a ride here, pulling out of our lot. This thing's been running for quite some time, and you'll see here the temperature staying pretty nice at 160, which is probably what the thermostat is in the motor. It hasn't come off of it, and it's been idling, sitting still in gear for quite some time. We were, getting ready for the video. It hasn't come up at all, and I don't even think the electric fan has kicked on. This thing has both a mechanical and an electric fan out front, so that's a good positive. That shows that the motor, or at least the cooling system, is nice and healthy. We've got oil pressure, which seems excellent. It doesn't go below 40 pounds at a hot idle, which I like to see. We got our speedometer. That is working. GPS type speedometer in the thing. That right there is our antenna. Voltage gauge seems to be working. Looks like our charging system's working good at about like 13.8 volts is what I would estimate. And we've got fuel gauge that is functional. Tachometer is functional. Coming up to our light here, hands off the wheel brake, stopping fine. I do like for you that are interested in the trivia, that is actually referred to as a tattletale, if I'm not mistaken, there on the dashboard. Kind of get on it a little bit coming down this road here. It has quite a bit of get up and go for a big old car like this thing. It's got quite a bit. That probably is telling me that the small block Chevy under the hood is probably really healthy. Once again here, coming up to a stop. Once again, hand off the wheel. Pretty darn straight. You really can't complain about that. Coming around our corner here. Now, I believe this thing does have a little bit of an upgraded front suspension in it. Of course, you saw the disc brakes in the front of it. Of course, we check out all of our front ends and all that sort of stuff during our inspection process on all these cars. We check the brakes out too. That much should be apparent, that considering the thing stops as well as it does. It does have manual steering in it, so there is that, but it doesn't actually steer all that bad. I mean, I was maneuvering it around the parking lot relatively easily, and outside of that, it actually drives pretty darn nice. Vanguard here, we're in Plymouth, right around the Motor City. We're 5 Mile and Sheldon Road. Technically, we're on Keel Street here in this little complex that we always do our videos in. Feel free to stop in. If you want to see this particular car or any car in particular, make sure to give us a call beforehand. That way, we actually have the car here. We do have another building that we store a lot of our cars at. I'd also like to point out we've got turn signal indicator that way, turn signal indicator that way. It does look like we have interior, or the lights for that. It's kind of hard to see here in the daylight. Anywho, what I was talking about was feel free to stop on in. If you don't want to see a car in particular, just stop on in. It's 100% welcome. We got a showroom that's probably got about 80 cars in it as of right now, but our total inventory is somewhere right around 200 cars. Outside of that here, waiting for this truck to go. You can do it, big guy. All right, here, pulling out. Once again, turn signal indicator does work, and I'm going to see if the self-cancel works. Yep, it does. Look at that. Steering wheel is actually nice and straight, too. I wonder if something else that I'm kind of curious is, too. If I can find the dimmer switch here on the floor. There it is. You do not have a high beam indicator. That does not function on this, but I guess just remember what position your dimmer switch is in, and it shouldn't be an issue for you. Coming up to our stop yet again, following this truck here. He tends to pull out a little bit on the slow side, but it is during traffic, so we do apologize for that. Right around lunchtime around here, it gets relatively hectic. But if I'm not mistaken, if it's not power brakes, it's pretty impressive for manual brakes. I do believe this is a power brakes car. Let's see, here we can go. Get on it one more time here before we come up to the shop. Runs pretty darn well, and it sounds pretty good too. Not overbearing exhaust. I like to see that, or I like to hear that, I should say. Pulling on in here. We're about ready to go throw this thing up on the hoist for you guys. We'll give you a good look at the undercarriage on it, which is actually pretty impressive on this. It's a pretty nice, well-built car. And we'll give you all the specs on the motor that you're hearing in this video, the transmission that's shifting the thing, and of course the rear end ratios, tire sizes, and of course just all the ins and outs on the suspension underneath the thing. So stay tuned for that. We're going to go throw it up on the hoist if one is available.
All right, we're underneath this 56 now, and as you can see, she's beautiful back here. She's got sewer pipes for exhaust pipes, 3-inch exhaust. It looks fairly new. Gas tank's been all cleaned up. Trunk floor's got what looks like a bed liner material on it. Nice and clean on that. We got a GM 10 bolt here, right around the 370 gear, and she is a posi setup. We got some really polished up stainless steel mufflers here. Frame looks great. This is a 2-piece frame, all continuously welded. Looks like somebody probably continuously welded this, because normally from the factory they just had little spot welds on them. Gas line's been replaced. Looks like the brake line's been replaced. It's got a monster drive shaft on her too. Back sides of the rockers look good. Body mounts look good. This is the first thing I look at on every one of these Tri-5s, are these body mounts. We've got a cooler here for the trans. 700 R4 trans here. She is a 4-speed automatic. Great looking headers. These are jet coated headers. Looks like a high torque starter. We have disc brakes up front. Inner wheelhouses are all nicely painted. I mean, it's a beautiful car under here, guys. Super clean, super nice car. Even the bottom side of the valance is all painted up. Front bumper was definitely replaced at one time. It's a gorgeous car under here, guys. I'd be proud to show this to anyone. Let's look at those wheels and tires. All right, we got some Riddler wheels, and the chrome looks great. I don't see any rash on them here at all. I got 225 45 17s, and man, those rotors are beautiful. Let's look at the rear. All right, we got Riddler wheels back here. Again, no rash whatsoever. 255 45 18s in the rear. And that rocker molding looks good. The bottom side of the rocker looks great. Just one gorgeous car. Let's get under the hood. All right, under the hood here, we got a Crate 350, all chromed up, man. Everything that can be chrome is chrome, and everything that can be polished is polished. Alternator looks good. We got aluminum pulleys. The water pump's polished up, the intake, the valve covers, the headers. Just an amazing setup here. HEI distributor, power brakes, aluminum radiator. Gorgeous setup, guys. Give us a call. Hey, there's a 670 Holley sitting on top of that thing too. Give us a call at 248-974-9513 and let Vanguard Motor Sales park this dream in your driveway.